joining us in studio right now for hashtag Kaya Lunchtime. It's been 2 years since I caught up with her, and last time she was here, we kikied late into the night. By the way, that was one of my favorite conversations. I must have replayed that conversation a dozen times, the whole year. I bombarded people with that conversation. I really did. Because you were so gracious with your time, you were so open with your conversation, and you just brought your truth and your honesty, and I appreciated that.
Thank you, Bridget. Thank you.
It made me cry, girl. And I got mascara, can't do that. But a lot has happened since, the last time I saw you about 2.5 years ago.
Sure.
You've released Petite Afrique.
Yes.
You've gone on to win the NAACP award for Outstanding Jazz Album.
Yeah.
How amazing.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing, yeah.
We were screaming and we were like, yeah. And on top of it, you wore Palisa Mokubong. And we were like, look at her.
Yes, representing my sis. Yes, of course.
Doing it for the culture. Let's talk Petite Afrique. 5th studio album. What was the inspiration? Because there's a few themes that I pick up.
Sure. So really it was about, I live in Harlem in New York City, which is, upper Manhattan, and one of the most important Black neighborhoods in terms of its contribution to the arts, culture, literature, activism, philosophy. So I moved there to be close to that legacy, but also to be close to this long-standing African immigrant community. They're predominantly West African, predominantly Francophone, predominantly Muslim. I moved there because as a child of immigrants, as a daughter of immigrants, I'm originally from Rwanda and Uganda, but did spend most of my life in the States. I really wanted to just honor the dignity of immigrants and the dignity of what it means to be specifically a Black immigrant, and what that experience is. And then this was all... I was sort of thinking about this, meditating on this at a time when I was feeling very homesick for the continent, but I felt like I had this other work that was happening in the U.S. that I had to kind of stay and be present for.
Yeah.
And the community helped me have that connection to home, that connection to the African communities that I grew up in, the continent that I love and have also grown up in. And so it was really just about honoring the dignity of those people. This was long before we knew who would be in the White House, long before these conversations about, this Islamophobic kind of narratives and the xenophobic narratives. And so I really am thankful for the opportunity to create a work that is about the dignity of the immigrant experience, which really is not just about Black immigrants, but all people who are othered, especially in these times, and talks about the power of music, the power of art making, and how it can disarm hearts and hopefully have a conversation. So that's really what Petite Afrique is about.
Somi joins us in studio for hashtag Kaya Lunchtime, right here, of course, on the award-winning Kaya FM 95.9. So you're performing at Untitled Basement this evening
tonight.
with Nduduzo Makhathini. And you guys are doing a bit of a vocal, lyrical vibe as well as an instrumental vibe. What's the vibe?
It'll be a set of my music, but in a really intimate way, right?
All right, and he's on the piano.
He's playing piano. And we have 2 other instrumentalists who are going to contribute at some point in the evening.
All right.
I don't know their last names, but it's
okay.
Nhlanhla on bass and Tino on drums. I'm sorry, but I love them. I'll meet them shortly, actually, after here. So, anyway.
But she loves you anyway.
Yes, for being willing, right? So yeah, tonight we're going to just have an intimate sharing up close and stripped down and, Untitled Basement. I went there my first night last week when I first got to Joburg. And it's just a really interesting space, very cool space. So I remember when Bradley, one of the owners, mentioned to me a year and a half ago, they were working on this space. It's really great. And, I'm always, frankly, a bit shocked that there aren't more music spaces, as much music, live music, as much live music and culture and the history of that happens here in South Africa and in Joburg. I'm always a bit surprised that there aren't more kind of clubs in that way. And of course, I was sad to come back and find that Orbit is closed. So it's wonderful to see yet another live space pop up, because obviously, that's a part of who you guys are and what you guys love. So I wasn't planning on doing a show. I was literally just going to be here quietly and dip, but people are kind of abusing me on social media, you're always coming to town and not doing anything. And I'm like, I know. So, but I was lucky because I happened to be here during Joy of Jazz. So that was wonderful to be in the audience and see some stuff. So yeah, we'll be at Untitled Basement, just sharing our hearts. And I'll be back in December though as well. So, because it is sold out tonight. So for anybody who's not able to make it, then I'll see you in December, hopefully.
She will be back in December. We made that announcement right here on the B-side. And when she comes back in December, she's going to come back on this show.
Yes, without my shades.
Yes, without her shades. And hopefully this time around with a microphone. I won't make her commit live on TV, but I will make her commit nonetheless. That is Somi. You can catch it tonight at Untitled Basement. Unfortunately, tickets are sold out for the event. Askis. But you can look forward to December. Askis. Me lady, thank you for visiting.
Thank you, Bridget. You're so wonderful. Thank you so much. I love you.
It is #Kaya Lunchtime on the home of the Afropolitan.